Hi, beautiful friends. My name is Jacqueline Rose, and this is my energy reading for the week of the 30th. Isn't it crazy to say it's going to be June? Like, I feel like time has just started rapidly speeding up these days. But today I pulled two cards for you. The first card was Horus, Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Changes are occurring. Marvelous changes are occurring. This is the card. And then the second card I pulled for you is Darwin Cool. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. I'm going to read the descriptions to these cards for you right now. You are connected to the universe and have the ability to manifest marvelous experiences. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions are like magnets, drawing the energy that is created and cultivated in this world. You have a stellar gateway chakra above your head, a vortex of energy that is influenced by your own energy. You can place ideas into this vortex and create what you are seeking. The universe also offers you guidance, abundance, support, and healing based on your capability to connect to and accept it. You have a real opportunity to further the connections now by sending prayers and intentions into the cosmos. Okay, and so the next card. When Darwin Cool appears in a reading, he reminds you that your path is unfolding as it should. Take one step at a time and remember that your only spiritual function is to be happy. You are a powerful person with many lessons under your belt and a real capability to share your wisdom with the world. Take the time to go over what you have learned recently. Recognize your strengths. It has brought you and acknowledge where you are and where you have been courageous. Darwin Cool is now working with your angels to guide and help you on your journey and help your journey unfold like the beautiful lotus flower, one petal at a time. So what these two cards are showing me, first of all, is that I talk about this a lot. Your thoughts create your reality, because your thoughts are things. A lot of people think that they're just thoughts, but thoughts are things, and that's what it's talking about, this energy vortex right here. You can put an idea in here, but I don't think, and I'm not sure, but I can only speak for myself, I did not realize how many negative scenarios I went into, thinking what if this and this happens. It's like our brain wants to prepare us for the bad things that happen, but unfortunately we are creating those actual experience to happen by our thoughts. And because our action, we're literally preparing ourselves for the worst case scenario, but we're not preparing ourselves for the best case scenario. So this is a practice that I had to do, was notice that I was creating the worst case scenario in my head, and then I was putting energy and action in my brain into that scenario. So when I noticed that, I flipped it. And it is a practice. First of all, it's a practice just to be aware of your thoughts. Most people are not aware of them. And that's why meditation is important. But once I was noticing these bad scenarios that I was creating in my mind before they even happened, I would switch them. And I would consciously go in and go, okay, what is the best case scenario? How would that look? How would that, and I had that come up with a friend of mine recently, that we were going into like, what if this and this happened? And I said, no, I want us to imagine the best case. What would that look like? What would we be doing? How would we feel that? You know, the universe goes based on your feelings. That is the language of the universe. God, Allah, Krishna, so on and so forth, whatever you want to call God, okay? The universe hears your feelings. That's why it's the being state. Okay, so what we want to do is not envision the worst scenario and start creating that and then feel those feelings. What we want to do is notice that we're doing that and then turn it around and go, what is the best case scenario? I want to envision that. I want to think about that. I almost think that like humans don't want to be let down, so we envision that worst case scenario so we can handle it, which really is the wrong way to go. And so start envisioning you getting that dream job, or I mean, go into the details of the envision. Like, what is it going to feel like whenever you get that call that you got the job? What is it going to feel like when you run into that person at the coffee shop and you make a connection? Like, you have to literally feel the feelings before it's actually happened. Because, you know, your subconscious brain, the universe doesn't know the difference between this reality, this magical reality that we live in, and the magical reality in your head. So if you're constantly going over these thoughts of negativity, then you're going to constantly create them over and over again. I know it's not easy when we're in a state of pandemic and a lot of really bad things are going on in the world. It's not easy to pull yourself out of that funk. But you have to notice that you're in that funk and then recreate something new. Why can't the best possible scenario happen to you? Why not? So even if like for me, for being overweight, I had to start, I for a long time envisioned, I had this like a vision of who I was going to be. Of course, I thought it was going to happen a little earlier. I always had a vision of me being very thin and fit and having my son on my hip. And so that didn't happen. My son was a bit older. It took me a little bit longer, but it didn't matter. I still got that vision of what I would look like, what I would feel like, what were the clothes that I was going to wear. And yes, it took me 8 years to get to that point to actually start the journey of losing weight. But once I got there, 9 months, I lost 75 pounds. I got in gear, I did it, and I created it, okay? It just took me a lot to get through the muck of my own mind. And so that's what this horse card is saying, that you have a really, your thoughts are magnetic and powerful, so you need to notice your thoughts and what direction you're going in. So then we come to the card of Dawal Cool. Oh, sorry, I'm not good at pronouncing this shit. And remember that you are on a path and take one step at a time. So that's what it goes back to, like me losing weight. You know, it took me a long time to get there, to lose weight. It actually didn't take me too long to get up on some videos because I had to push, but I mean, I started this whole journey with, you know, putting myself out there 2 years ago. And so about a year and a half ago, okay, not quite 2 years, but I've come so far in those 2 years. Like, now I can go back and go, like, the things that I've created in the last 2 years just by just walking through my fears. You are literally creating your life in every moment by your actions and your thoughts. If you don't think you're good enough, then you're not going to do the next step. You have to believe that you're good enough. And I think that the envisioning really helps you. And then this is saying, take one step at a time. You've got to remember, everything does not happen overnight. You are always building. My best example is, and I love one of my best friends, Lisa. You know, years ago, she was a MAC makeup artist and was the trainer of MAC makeup. And then she got into, I just told her this, then she got into marketing and radio. And then she did fitness competitions, and it was building her to be this success in YouTube and makeup and build this brand and build this empire. But long ago, that wasn't even her idea. She never even thought about that. I don't even know if YouTube was even around. But as it goes on, you step by step, and at the end, you're like, oh, I collected all of this information, all of this data, all of these ideas to create the person that I am today. So I'm able to help a lot of people on their journey. But you didn't know that back then. So you don't really know what you're creating. Just know that each day, if you're doing everything with the best intent, that you want to build your life and to help others, service to others is huge. And then in the end, no matter what it looks like, it doesn't matter. I didn't know I'd be sitting here. I didn't know I'd be doing this. This is the last thing I would have thought about. If I'd go back 5 years ago, this is not what my intentions were. But here I am, and my intent is always to help everybody, help as many people as I can on my journey. And so you just never know how your life will unfold. And I say that, let life unfold. Let it show it to you. And I want you to notice all of the things, the journey that you've been through. And in this place right now, you may just be repeating those bad cycles, but I still want you to give yourself a fucking trophy, gold star, whatever, of the journey that you've been through, because all of us have been through a journey. All of us have a story. So that journey is leading you. I want you to believe that that journey is leading you somewhere. It's leading you to the best case scenario in your mind, whatever that is. But I think a lot of people are just trucking through life and trying to do it. I want you to envision, it said 10:10 on the clock, and I want you to envision, what is your wildest dream? Start envisioning it. Start really putting your energy into that. And I guarantee you, you will be surprised at what comes of it. Much love.